what is happening when we speak about frauds and scams, specifically trying to target our older adults. Well, why is it happening? Well, there it is. It's greed. It's the number one cause, the root cause. I want your money. That is what a fraud and scammer is doing. No matter the avenue they take to get there, there's one end result. I want your money. And so when they have that greed, they begin to almost have a false sense of entitlement. I'm going to trick you. You don't know how to use the computer. You don't know if I'm pretending to be someone you know on the phone, or if I show up at your door and tell you I'm here to do some work, you'll let me in. Because they believe they have this opportunity where they think they can trick, con older adults into believing they're scam or fraud. And so those are the components that we look at to understand, why does it happen? What are the reasons behind it sadly continuing to happen? And the headlines are there. We see it every day on our television newscasts, maybe our social media that we're looking at through our phones, the scams, the amount of money that's going out every day. And yet, this is only 5% of what's being reported. The reality is 95% of us who have been targeted or victims of fraud or scam don't report. So if we can imagine, that's just 5% of us that have come forward to say, this is what's happening. These scammers, unfortunately, tricked me. And again, there's no shame, there's no blame. These are professional people who are targeting you for your money. We see it coming more and more through technology, meaning we're getting more text messages, we're getting more emails, we're seeing more on social media, and older adults are using social media more and more, especially since the pandemic. It's how we stay in touch with friends and families around the world. And scammers think, how do I use that as an avenue to reach my targeted audience of an older adult? The phone, still picking up the phone, is where we still see the majority of frauds and scams come through. We also see it, though, happening with still door-to-door interaction, meaning a lot of, sad to say, people show up at the door. I'm from the utility company. Oh, I'm from the government. We're here to do some work on your house to offer you a rebate. Sign a contract. Sadly, what that does is at times even take a senior's home away from them, because these are not authorized government employees. People will show up to say they're collecting money from a charity. So we really need to be cautious of who we're opening the door to and make sure it's somebody that we have invited in and that we can know and trust. So in development with the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, the Ontario Policing Partners, and partners right across Canada and Ontario, we've really looked at putting together what we feel is a strategy that no matter what is coming at us, because you could have me back next week and I would have new scams for you. But what we want to do is put prevention in place. Every time we answer the phone, every time you check an email, every time before you open the door, every time before you see that text message and think, do I respond? Take a moment and say, do I recognize you? Do I recognize the tone you're using, the number, the email address? When I answer the phone, did I recognize the number? And if I don't, immediately, without hesitation, reject. That's it. I'm giving you permission today to just reject. You don't have to be polite. You don't have to answer the phone. You don't have to open the door if you don't want to. You don't have to respond to the email or text. or Facebook request. You don't have to do anything. If you don't recognize, reject. And if ever you feel worried, concerned, was that my bank? Was that the government? Was that my grandchild? Was that my neighbor? Pick up the phone and reach out. Never feel that someone should silence your voice and tell you, don't call anyone, don't call the bank, don't call, we're helping you. That is the red flag that you say right there and then, why are you telling me I can't call someone? Why are you telling me I have to be silent? Reach out and call whoever you feel safe with speaking with. Never let anyone silence your voice. Thank the Centre for Conscious Awareness Canada for inviting us out today. We had a great time. Really enjoyed meeting everybody here today and some really excellent practical tips on awareness and prevention. So thank you so much.
I'd like to thank CCA Canada very much for this opportunity to learn so much about potential scams and frauds for the seniors. While the session was geared only to seniors, I think it was really valuable for us all to consider what we are doing, how we are continuing to learn to improve ourselves and to take care of ourselves. The intuitive meditation session was a wonderful way to end a session about difficulties in life. So thank you very much to CPA.
So today's event was really informative. It was really great. It's actually a topic that actually affects a lot of seniors. So it was really great that they actually opened this event to invite them to learn more about elder abuse and how to prevent fraud and scams from happening to them. And then afterwards, they had this wonderful meditation session and provided food for them. So overall, it was a really great and successful event.
Hoy participé de esta reunión interesante donde explicaban cómo tratar de evitar el fraude a los adultos y me pareció sumamente interesante en el día de hoy con tanta tecnología que uno usa y que a veces ellos no saben usar. Y después de eso tuvimos una meditación que fue sumamente relajante y para tratar de volver a estar con uno mismo y conocer gente muy amable y encantadora.
I enjoyed helping with this event. It helped teach seniors in the community how to protect themselves against the frauds and scams. There were 2 speakers here today, and they did a great job. Just sort of helping provide some information about the different resources and the helplines that seniors can call in case they are at any time unsure about whether or not there are people who they can trust to protect them against the frauds and scams, and also just to stay strong emotionally and financially and connect with others. There's lots of resources out there. There are lots of people who can help you, and yeah, it's a great experience.
How to prevent fraud and scams, and it was very informative. There was also a speaker that gave a demonstration of this meditation. And I think it would be very helpful whenever you're feeling very emotional. I think it was very informative. Thank you for the opportunity.
It was really nice to help with CCA because it was really good for me to learn about the scams that the elderly can go through, and it was really good for me to also inform my families, my grandma, my grandparents, because they went through these so many times, and it was really good to help them out and meet new people.
This is my first time attending this event. I find it very informative, especially for seniors who are concerned about getting scammed online. Thank you for having me at this event. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.